Hello there, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or maybe good night. Welcome to the very first episode of the Microsoft Partner Quick Bytes. This session is brought to you thanks to the generous support of our sponsors Also, Arrow, Ingram Cloud and TD Synnex. The idea of the Quick Bytes sessions is that we will deliver in total 50 of these sessions in the coming 12 months. And during these sessions, we'll inform you about news that Microsoft did make, about announcements, we will inform you about new promotions, new incentives. We will make sure that you know everything, that you're informed about everything that is available to you as a partner to be successful in your marketplace. My name is Yves Kerwijn. I'm actually what you could call a proud member of the Microsoft Belux partner community, and I love to evangelize, I love to demystify, I love to train people, I love to make people successful by providing information, by providing useful tips on how to leverage the nice platform of Microsoft. The topic of this very first Quick Bite is getting ready for success in fiscal 26. We'll actually talk about four big topics. We'll talk about the event that will take place next week, the MCAPS Start for partners. I'll talk about another event that will also take place next week, which is called MCAPS Start Unpacked. I'll come back to what the difference is. And of course, there is another very important event that will take place not next week, but the week after, which is called the Partner Fiscal 26 GTM Kickoff event. I will make sure that it becomes really clear what the audience, the target audience for each session is, and that you understand clearly how they are different and how they are complementary to each other. And of course, at the end, I'll end with something that you might not know yet, or you might already know it. It is what they call the MCI, the Microsoft, not Cloud, but the Microsoft Commercial Incentive Office Hours. That's a call that takes place typically every month, every 2 weeks, organized by Microsoft, typically specifically focused on one of the cloud solution areas, or specifically focused on another specific perspective, where Microsoft informs you how you will be able to use the incentives. And what is so interesting about it, to mention it today, is that we can already access the one that happened last week. And during the sessions of last week, because there were 3 of them, during the sessions of last week, you'll get already a very interesting peek view, preview basically on what will be announced next week. So that's why I'm including it here. So let's get started, and let's get started by explaining what MCAPS Start is, what MCAPS Start for partners actually is. Well, first of all, MCAPS is an abbreviation. It's an abbreviation for Microsoft Customer and Partner Solutions. It's actually the organization within Microsoft that focuses on helping customers and partners succeed with Microsoft technology. They do this by bridging actually the product teams and the people that at the end of the day will be using the products, the customers. They do this by bringing together sales within Microsoft, support within Microsoft, services within Microsoft, and of course all the partner teams in one connected approach. That is the whole idea of MCAPS. Actually, at this very moment, there is an event taking place at Microsoft internally, which is called MCAPS Start. It's the name of the big internal yearly kickoff event, where Microsoft informs their employees about the new visions, about the new investments that are being planned, about the priorities, about the key focus areas. And actually you see here already here in a very nice picture what that at a very high level means this year. So this picture shows actually the big priorities of MCAPS in fiscal year 26. And as you can see there, and there are actually 3, not 5 like previous years, but you only have 3 big MCAs, as you could call them, Microsoft Cloud areas. The Microsoft Cloud, solution areas. MCA, no, Microsoft Cloud Solution Areas, whatever it's CSA, the Cloud Solution Areas. So we have 3 of them now. The first one is all about AI business and solutions, which actually brings together Dynamics and everything we know from Microsoft 365, modern work, and of course including Copilot, Microsoft 365 Copilot. So that is what they call the AI business solutions. So the cloud solutions area focused on that specific set of scenarios. The second one maps nicely to Azure Infrastructure, Azure AI, and Azure Data, which is called today Cloud AI Platforms. And the last one, of course, is a very important one, as always, is security. So these are the 3 Microsoft Cloud Solution areas. In the past we had 5 of them. I'm not going to repeat them. And from that perspective now they then will go into detail and explain you. They are actually explaining it as we talk now to their employees, what the news is, what the incentives are, what investments Microsoft will be doing, how they will actually make the employees successful in achieving their goals. And at the end of the day, there is Microsoft CAPS for partners, Start for partners. And that's actually the same thing which will happen next week, on Tuesday. It's actually the Microsoft big external kickoff event where Microsoft will again share information with you as a partner related to its vision, related to the new investments, and again related to the key focus areas, read priorities. Now, it's actually your chance to hear directly from the Microsoft leadership, the corporate vice presidents and the other leaders within Microsoft about what is coming. It is really the best moment where you will get early insights on the strategy actually and things that typically will help you to plan your own fiscal year. It is about learning how to grow your own business by leveraging Microsoft support, by leveraging all the programs, all the incentives, all the promotions, all the things that Microsoft is about to discuss next week. So this is the MCAPS Start for partners, and that's actually the first agenda point in my Quick Bytes session of today. Now, if we zoom a little bit in on the MCAPS Start for Partners session of July the 15th, next Tuesday in the evening, it will start at 5 o'clock, and there you see the URL that allows you to register. That's actually a very easy to remember URL, MCAPS Start for Partners, and here you see a nice overview of the full agenda that starts at 5 o'clock in the evening and that ends by 10 o'clock basically on next Tuesday. There is of course a keynote, and then there is, as you can see, a separate session for each CSA, Cloud Solution area. There is one for the AI business solutions, there is one for Cloud AI platform, and there is of course one for security. So that's how Microsoft will make sure that you get informed. And during each session, Microsoft will give you its strategy for each of these cloud solution areas. We'll talk you at a very high level the investments that Microsoft has been doing. And of course, Microsoft will also celebrate successes of last year in order to show us how other partners have been successful by making customers happy, basically based on its Microsoft platform. Then there is of course, like every year, a session about AI Cloud Partner Program, the Microsoft AI Cloud Partner Program. And as every year, there are some things that change. There is actually new value. And last year, a lot of things have changed. A lot of new value got introduced. The whole program, in a way, got much better aligned to the strategy of Microsoft. And I think, I don't know, but I think this year we can expect again further alignment and more value for us through the Microsoft AI Cloud Program, Partner Program. So that's one of the big topics in the middle of the agenda of next week. And then there is a session about enhancing co-sell engagements with Microsoft. This is all about the reality that most of the customers are not managed by Microsoft directly. They are managed by you, the partner. Now, for those customers that are managed by Microsoft, the large enterprises, the medium-sized, also the medium-sized enterprises, there we need to work together with Microsoft, there we need to co-sell. This session is all about explaining you what the resources are, what the methodology is, what the way of going forward are to co-sell, to work together with Microsoft to be successful in that space. Now, furthermore, and that is not related to just ISVs, this is related to all of us. If we create products, if we create approaches, best practices, we can package them as a solution and we can make them available into, indeed, the marketplace, the Microsoft marketplace. The marketplace is not new. It has been introduced, I think, 3 years ago. It got a lot of attention last fiscal year. And I think this is year 3. And you know what they say about Microsoft? It always takes like 3 iterations. So maybe this is the year. It's year 3 of this marketplace. This marketplace is absolutely meant for us partners to showcase our offerings, to showcase our intellectual property actually, that we packaged as a solution and make available for customers to discover. Maybe customers in another country, maybe also partners in another country that might want to leverage your solution to leverage in their specific geography. So this capturing the marketplace opportunity is all about that. It's about making sure that you scale your efforts, your intellectual property, make it available to more customers and more partners worldwide. And then there's a session about incentives, probably the session I like most, probably the section where we will have to do afterwards a lot of follow-up quick bite sessions talking about the incentives. As you will see, the incentives, what is so nice about them, already last year, they nicely aligned the incentives to MCEM, and the Microsoft Customer Engagement Methodology. This year, for sure, they'll do that even more than the year before. And the other thing is that they also will make sure that you have the same structure, the same kind of pre-sales and post-sales activities that you can do, for which you will get payback, for which you can get rewarded, independently of the CSA, independently of the cloud solution area, independently of the product. We are talking typically about 3 things. We're talking about what you could call the immersion in briefings. That's something that is a new name, the immersion briefings. The other thing is more related to what you could call the envision and proof of concept workshops. And the last one is about deployment accelerators. What you will see now in the next fiscal year, the new fiscal year, is that all the incentives have been both aligned to MCEM and have been aligned very much to this structure of partner activities for which you can reward it. So this session about the incentives and about all this nice alignment and the new way of going forward. Last but not least, there is a session fully dedicated to CSP partners, where they nicely will explain to you as a CSP partner how we can be successful. And as you know, CSP got more important since last year, since Microsoft is actually pushing away customers from enterprise agreements and pushing them more and more towards CSP partners, to CSP agreements. So what you see again is a session about CSP, about the cloud solution partners and the program and agreements, and the things that you will be able to leverage, not just for the small enterprises or the small companies, but especially for the small and medium enterprises. So this is certainly very important. So if you ask me, this is a very nice agenda. They cover actually everything that we will most probably find important. And this is certainly something that we will not want to miss next week. I did register, I will attend, I will be there at 5 o'clock. I will for sure watch all these sessions. Probably some of them I will want to rewatch later with the recording. What I absolutely promote here, check out the URL, register, choose your sessions or your sections of the session that you will want to watch. If not, for sure, watch a recording later or watch one of the quick bite sessions like today, where we will do a recap on what was announced. Didn't I convince you? Very possible. There is, of course, still Nicole. Nicole is the Chief Partner Officer at Microsoft. She did write a blog post on the Microsoft website regarding the MCAPS Start for Partners event of July, next week actually, the Tuesday. And you can read about it. You can get convinced by Nicole on why you will want to attend. And in the same post, she also talks about Ignite. And as you know, Ignite merged also with what was previously known as Inspire. And the point is, as you can read in this blog post, is that the registrations are already open also for that event that will take place on November 17th in San Francisco. I have quite some friends in the partner community that already tell me that they did register, and I'm sure many among you will want to do the same. Most importantly, because it's an in-person event, so certainly something to watch and to maybe to register, and maybe we can meet over there in San Francisco in November. That being said, this covers actually the MCAPS Start for Partners event of next week. This is just one session. And then also next week, there is another session which is called the MCAPS Start Unpacked. And that's a little bit strange. I'll explain later in this session why they did introduce this. But what this actually is, it's a shorter session of 1 hour and a half most probably, or even shorter, that will focus into it from a pure CSP perspective and solely on into the AI business solutions, meaning the combination of Dynamics and of course Modern Work / Microsoft 365. So they will not zoom into the two other CSAs, the two other cloud security areas. It will not zoom into what you could call today Azure, or what is called today AI and cloud platform, and it will not zoom into security. That being said, of course, from a CSP perspective, specifically for AI business solutions, security is always there, and of course, Azure is always very close, especially when you start to talk about agents, Copilot agents, and start to use Copilot Studio and start to leverage things for which you might want to use Azure. But then again, this session is all about you as a CSP partner focusing into the AI business solutions. It is happening next week also on the day after, let's say, not on July the 15th, but on July the 16th. It happens at 6 o'clock our time in Brussels, and it's only taking 1 hour and a half. Now, there you have it, the URLs to register. There are two of them. The first one is new, the second one is not new, and the second one is probably the one that you will want to bookmark. Why? Because this unpacking event is actually made part of something that is not new, something that got introduced last fiscal year. It's actually a set of sessions that typically take only 1 hour that go into detail on very important announcements. And there you have it, the link and the details about that event. As you can see here, last fiscal year, we also had, for the first time at Microsoft, 3 of these events, always 1 hour, and always typically very related to Copilot, and always very related specifically to modern work. Not yet very much, not at all even, that's not true, not at all. They certainly also covered from a promotion perspective details about what you could do from a Dynamics and business applications perspective. But then again, still, most of the time they were focusing on Microsoft 365 Copilot, the promotions and the incentives and all the resources that they made available to make us successful. So actually this session on Wednesday is like a recap of what will happen on Tuesday, but specifically focusing from a CSP perspective on modern work and indeed Dynamics, or what they call today in CSI terminology, the cloud security area AI business solutions. I still have to practice a little bit. Here you see them, all the recordings of the sessions of last fiscal year, and there you see the link to register for the session of next week. You see two of them. Actually, it's twice the same time, but if you rather want to do a session on the day after at 3 a.m. in the morning, that's certainly also a possibility. You can choose whatever you want. Probably the second will be a recorded version of the first. I don't know. I think so. That being said, go there, make sure that you register, especially if you cannot make it on Tuesday, especially if you don't have too much time to follow everything on Tuesday, and especially if you want to go specifically on modern work /AI, business solutions /Dynamics /Microsoft 365 from a CSP's perspective, you'll get a very good overview on it in that session. That being said, then we have another big event, not next week, but the week after. The week after there is this GTM Kickoff event, and the GTM Kickoff event is on July the 22nd, again on Tuesday. And what is different, and I need to explain it a little bit because it got me certainly confused, not only this year, but especially last year. I was really confused to see that there were actually two sessions. The session we just discussed, the first one I mean, on Tuesday, is very high level, is very strategy focused. It's really brought by the senior leaders at Microsoft. And it's absolutely about all CSAs, including security and including AI and platform, cloud and AI platform. This session is fully focused, zooming in again on modern work and business applications from a go-to-market perspective. It is really about a very tangible way handling and going into much more detail into the program, into the initiatives, into the incentives that are made available to make us successful for AI business solutions. So there is certainly a difference, and in order to make you better understand what the difference is, I created this very small table. So the event of July the 22nd is much more focused on people that actually do the execution, or people within your organization that are focusing on planning the execution. That can be the sales manager, that can be the marketing manager, that can be whomever who is planning activities, who's planning the go-to-market approach for your organization, and they'll get very tangible resources and insights on how to do that. Yeah? That's the difference with the sessions of next week, where we'll have a much more top-down approach, much more high-level approach, where we'll see much more celebrations also about successes from other partners and customers, and less tangible, let's say, less practical. And so again, it's very possible that some of you might say, well, I'm a GM of the company, I want to have a high-level view, I want to understand the strategy at Microsoft. Well, most probably go for the session of next week on Tuesday. If you're rather a person that wants to translate that into plans and wants to get started as soon as possible to land it in your organization, you will want to go to the session of the week after, especially if your focus is modern work and dynamics, let's say. So that is what this fiscal year 26 GTM kickoff event is all about. And what is interesting, there is of course a URL through which you can register. When you register, you'll get to this website. And one of the first things you see there is, and that it's actually something that confused me last fiscal year, because also last fiscal year you had to choose between 3 tracks, even while the sessions are about dynamics or modern work, but then there was a 3rd track specifically for CSP focus. Well, guess what? And this is quite new, they changed this like 3 weeks ago. There is not a CSP track anymore. They canceled the CSP track. And actually, remember what I just explained, the unpacking session of the CSP marketing moments? Well, that's what they actually did. They moved actually this session to the session that will happen next week on Wednesday. And on the session, on the kickoff event, the GTM kickoff event of the week after, July 22nd, you have to make a choice, or you go for the track for business applications, or you go for the modern work track. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter too much because you will be able to watch all the recordings later on, just like you can still watch all the recordings of last year. They are still available in the Partner Portal Learning Hub. Certainly something to check out. If you sign in, you can build your schedule, which brings you to this website. And here you see all the tracks. You can choose between 2 tracks, not 3, but 2 tracks. You can choose between the keynote. There is just 1 keynote actually. And then there is actually the core sessions and the deep dive session. I'll talk about that in a minute. But this is actually and then you also see the URL. It's not an AKA .ms URL. It's another URL through which you have access to the session scheduler. Now, very important, even if you do not have time or you do not want to plan and attend actually the sessions, I absolutely recommend that you register and choose already now the sessions. Why? Because by doing so, you'll get notified later when the recording gets available for you on demand. And I think this already is a reason, and you don't need any more extra reasons, why I think you will want to register for the GTM kickoff event and why you will want to schedule at least one of these sessions. Here you see actually my schedule, and here you can see, you see the keynote, of course, and then I will be attending all 3. Well, I will be attending actually 1 business applications core session, and I will be attending 2 modern work sessions. That's my plan actually. At the end of the day, I will be watching all the sessions, but that is my plan for next week. And I will also be watching 4 on-demand sessions. To help you a little bit more with that, there is also this other URL that you see there. And through this other URL, you can download a PDF of 5 pages. And 4 of these pages nicely show you all the sessions. So first of all core sessions for modern work. And the first one is very related to the core of Microsoft 365, which at the end of the day is about productivity. Yeah. The second session is about Copilot and how you can leverage Copilot, specifically Copilot agents at work. As you know, the big topic of next fiscal year anyway. And then there is a session very dedicated to managing endpoints and a session very dedicated on unification of communications. Think about Teams, also as a replacement for PBXs. So these are the 4 core sessions, and also for business applications, there are 4 core sessions. The first one is of course something all of us need to know about. It's about leveraging Power Platform, leveraging low code, and creating agents, leveraging most probably Copilot Studio to create agents. And that is one of the sessions that you'll see under business applications track. The other session is the CRM session, or Dynamics 365 sales, on what is new there, what are the incentives, what is a good approach, all kinds of tools that will be made available. They will be discussing all that in that session. Session number 3 is of course very related to Dynamics 365 customer service. Again, you'll see in all the sessions actually how AI got more infused in these sessions, or not these sessions, but in the products, in the services, and how you can leverage that. And then of course there's a session related to ERP, Dynamics 365 Finance, and of course Business Central. Partners will want to attend for sure this session. So these are the 8 core sessions, 4 for modern work and 4 for business applications. And then there are on-demand sessions that are more deep dive. There is 4 for as you can see modern work, and there are I think 2 what you see here for business applications. Going back to modern work, what you see here actually sessions that go deeper on the incentives, like the Microsoft 365 Accelerate incentive or the Cloud Endpoints Accelerator. And these sessions go in much more detail. This is the kind of content that you will not see during the sessions of next week. This is actually the kind of content that makes this event in 2 weeks much more interesting for some of us, I think, than the sessions of next week. And the same thing here for the two deep dive on-demand sessions for business applications, and of course Copilot Studio. You might say, I'm not into Business Central, I'm not into Dynamics. Well, you should be into Copilot Studio. There is absolutely no excuse. The same thing is true for Fabric actually, but there's actually no excuse to not be busy with Copilot Studio, because there is the opportunity. There is where we will change actually the world and make customers happy by leveraging Copilot Studio. And that's actually a business applications deep dive session that I absolutely recommend checking out. Okay, that being said, download the PDF. You will want to check it out and at least register for 1 or 2 sessions so that you get notified about the time frame when it gets available. We're almost done. There is still one topic to do, that is MCI office hours. MCI is not Microsoft Cloud incentives, it's Microsoft commercial incentives. Now actually, it's not new, but every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, sometimes a month, Microsoft organizes an open office hour for all partners to come to get informed and to have bidirectional conversations with Microsoft. You can ask questions, get answers on specific topics. Now, why is this so interesting to bring this into the agenda of today? Because if you go to that website, what you will see over there, if we zoom into it, is that the session that took place last week on July the 7th and July the 8th, again, nicely already aligned to the 3 CSAs, the cloud security areas, security, AI business solutions, and cloud and AI platforms. They reveal a lot of details of what actually will be discussed next week and the week after. Absolutely very interesting to learn about what is coming. Now, the week after, on July the 17th, they do actually the same thing. And why do they do it twice? Most probably because they could not reveal everything last week. They can, however, reveal much more next week after the MCAPS for partners, more specifically again about the 3 CSAs. So if you're not able to watch the recordings of last week, and you can wait, make sure that you register for the sessions of next week, or July the 17th, or at least later on try to watch them. That is the July the 17th, and then on July the 24th, you have again 2 opportunities. One is at 2 a.m., which is probably not the best timing, and then the other one is at 5 p.m. on July the 24th, which is actually a session about incentives from a pure CSP perspective. Now again, this is just one of the sessions. Be prepared that every month there will be another session where you will learn about incentives, where you learn from the answers that Microsoft gives to questions asked by your colleagues working for other partners. Very interesting. And actually in August there is also one, but the one in August is all about the Azure related stuff, related to the CSA cloud and AI platform, as we should call them out today. So see, and most probably you can check out what is coming. This is what is available now. I did take a screenshot of not everything, but you can still watch recordings of last months if you really want to. This is not new, but actually it's a very interesting resource for those that are planning not to leave money on the table, actually, making sure that you leverage the incentives and actually you plan your business and you plan to create offers for your customers nicely aligned upfront with the MCIs. And that's actually something that I absolutely recommend a lot. Most of the sessions we did do last year in the update calls were very related to incentives. And next fiscal year, this fiscal year, you'll be organizing a lot of quick bites sessions where we zoom into a lot of these details. And typically I will be watching these sessions to get my learnings myself. Okay, so this is actually the URL, bookmark it. It's a very interesting one. In summary, what I want you to do, watch the recording. If you cannot watch the recording of last week, at least check out the session of next week. And if not, make sure that you check out from time to time one of the office hours related to incentives. Like for instance, July the 24th is one for CSP incentives, and August the 14th is one for Azure investments. And then also very related, the new incentive guide for fiscal 26 is already available for download. And actually it's quite interesting to look into it, because also there a lot is revealed already that will get discussed next week and the week after. Quite interesting. I learned a lot from that, because I don't work as an employee for Microsoft. I'm a freelancer myself, and I need to do it with the resources that are publicly available, like you have to do it. And this is certainly one of the interesting ones to check out at this very moment. Voila, I think in order to be successful next fiscal year and during summertime, I think I gave you a very good overview of what you could do to prepare in the coming weeks and months. That being said, what I will do, of course, in the one of the next 49 sessions, the 49 quick bytes sessions that I'll make available, and they will be shorter than this one actually, will cover more topics in much more detail than we were able to do today. At the end of the day, what you will see is that each of the topics that we'll be covering will have been introduced somehow in the coming 2 weeks. And we'll make sure that when you attend these sessions, then you watch these sessions on YouTube, for instance, and make them available on YouTube. The YouTube channel is that you will be able to be successful. So again, thank you very much, you as an audience, but most importantly also, thank you also, Arrow, Ingram Cloud, and TD Syndics to make these sessions possible. It's thanks to your sponsorship and thanks to all the support that Microsoft is giving us to do these 50 sessions that we will be successful as a partner and make customers happy. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.